Do mind your step here, as we now find ourselves standing in the celestial Orrery. I almost sound like a tour guide. How quaint. Perhaps I ought to offer you a brochure, or perhaps memorabilia of your fond time here. But be warned, it will cost you an arm and a leg, as all self-respecting tourist tramps would price their items. Try to not lean on these railings, Star Sailor. They are more for decoration than anything. I don't need you falling off the bridge. And before you ask, no, this is not the endless void of space. You would have imploded the minute we walked out here if it were. No, this is a finite room. So, were you to fall, you would slam your body against the paneling at the bottom of the room and break a few bones in the process.
But Margrave,
I hear you ask.
why does it look like it's actually the cold, empty expanse of space?
And to that, my cosmos sailing friend, I respond, magic. Or at least what I understand to be magic. For fear of damaging this Orrery's machinery, I haven't fiddled with it in the slightest in my entire tenure here. There's lots of glass and small metal bits. I fear I'd lose the minute I set them down. If it isn't broken, why bother tampering with it, you know? Anyways, this is a long outdated model of some portion of the galaxy. I couldn't tell you where, nor could I tell you what time this was meant to model. All I know is that it sounds positively wonderful in here, and it makes for quite the beautiful change of pace from the cluttered and packed rooms and hallways of the rest of the library. There's something so oddly charming about this place, and I can't quite put my claw on it. Down there, at the end of the bridge, is where I usually like to take my naps, actually. If you ever wonder why you can't find me amongst all the books in the library, it's because I'm here, dozing. What does a nigh immortal Constelmare need with naps when he can subsist on nothing itself, you ask? To answer that, I'm not quite certain. I theorize it gives me, perhaps, a bit of closeness with Ava. I like to stare up at the stars and wonder how she's doing. Admittedly, it is awkward trying to stare up when I have this massive tail preventing me from lying on my back, but I make it work. That giant radiating ball, what looks to be a minuscule star, by the by, is an energy source for the Orrery. You could easily fit 10 or so me's in there, and it is pleasantly warm to be next to. I do ask you not go up to it, though, as it radiates magical energy quite deadly for the likes of your kind. And before you inevitably ask, no, I do not know how it works either. This entire room, really, is a mystery to me. As I've stated prior, this library existed far before I did, and it also existed far before Ava did as well. Neither of us knows who made it, why, or how most of it works. You'd think spending millions of years here would grant me some form of insight as to how this place actually functions. However, most of my time has been spent studying magic. So, rather lamentably, I could not tell you how most anything works around here to save my life. Rather sad, is it not? Sorry. Here I am rambling again. Anyways, where was I? Yes, the ball. Thank you. Looks like a star. Is it like a nice cozy fire to be around? Margin tiles, it doesn't sound nice. Right, okay. So as I stated, it is deadly to be near for the likes of your kind, as I don't believe any of your peoples to be particularly skilled with magic, correct? Right. The reason it is so deadly for you is that your body is not equipped to handle magic radiation that potent. Obviously, I could walk down there myself and be just fine, as I've been practicing magic for eons. But you, who's touched nary a grimoire? Why, you'd vaporize a unrefined mana in seconds. Perhaps if we had an infinite amount of time readily available to us, I could teach you magic. You know, spellcasting, how to sense mana, how to create your own spells. But unfortunately for the both of us, our time is finite. What do I mean? What did I say? For the Oh. Yes, so obviously you only live for about a century of your people's time at most. Perhaps more were you to be a master of the arcane, as is the nature of magic. But I do not believe that that century would be a long enough time for you to truly grasp the usage of magic. It is by all accounts too complex to unravel in such a short time period. Not to mention that I am by no means an accredited magus of the arcane arts either. I am self-taught, you see, with a bit of guidance here and there from Ava. I wouldn't even know where to begin explaining to you how to channel magic, let alone sense it. It's like breathing. I guess, anyway. It comes naturally and gets weird and awkward if you try to think about doing it. And for me, well, truth be told, I have a goal in mind that is time-sensitive to me. But for someone so short-lived as yourself, it would seem as though I have all the time in the world. It is rather near and dear to me, so I am of course obliged to be on logic to attend to this. But given that you, a guest, are here, I felt that little harm could come from such a short reprieve from my research to entertain you for your tenure in this library beyond the stars. Returning to the topic at hand, and to make a long tirade short, do not approach Big Flaming Ball. Big Flaming Ball kill you, make you dead. Me not want you dead, so me tell you, no go to Ball. I apologize for talking down to you like that, but I really cannot stress enough how terrible of an idea it is for you to go to that ball. I have grown rather fond of your company, and would hate to see you go out in such a way. I'd rather cast a sleep spell on you in your twilight years, so that you may go out peaceably in your sleep. Assuming, that is, that you would be all right with it, anyhow. What in... 1,000 pardons, Star Sailor. I've just sensed that someone has entered the main lobby, which is more than strange, as I've rarely had more than one visitor at a time. In the past, I'd say the occasions in which there were 2 or more persons here, excluding Ava and I, of course, number only in the single digits, so this is wholly unprecedented by all accounts. I don't know what manner of being is here, so I cannot guarantee your safety if you were to join me. Therefore, I must ask that you remain here for a time, whilst I see who it is that has entered the library. I will be back shortly, of course, or at least in what I consider to be a short amount of time, so be sure to stay put here. Perhaps enjoy the ambient sounds of the Orrery, maybe even have yourself a little nap. Can I trust you to obey my request? To remain here, alone for a spell? Oh, thank you, truly. It pleases me to know you put so much faith and trust in me, despite our rather cosmically short time we've spent together. You have my word that I shall return as soon as I possibly can, to hasten this tour of the library to its end. Now, if you will excuse me, I have a new guest to attend to.